Now the first thing is B2 minus B1. That's the current account in period 1. Because, and that's Y1 plus 1 plus R B1 minus I2 minus C2. Oops, that's nonsense. Sorry about that. Okay, now we just have to fill this. The first thing is this is equal to 0, right? Which we know from here. This is equal to 0 as well. Are you still with me? Okay. Now, you will be surprised by how simple things are now, because we have y1 minus I1 minus C1, and we can use the result from over here. Right? So we have equals y1 minus I1 minus, what was it? Minus R over 1 plus R. Thank you. Y1 minus I1. No, minus 1 over 1 plus R. Y minus I. And I mean, this is something that you can simplify. So you have y1 minus I1, 1 minus R over 1 plus R, minus 1 over 1 plus R, y minus I. That's, of course, 1 over 1 plus R. So what you get in the end is you get 1 over 1 plus R, y1 minus I1 minus y minus I. And that is 1 over 1 plus R. And the best way of expressing that is y1 minus y minus I1 minus I. Good. Now, what do we do with this? Well, is this positive or negative? Well, what would you expect? Negative, because you're running a current account deficit. So the net international investment position at the beginning of period 2 is negative, right? So there's the shock happening in period 1. And you reduce consumption but you don't reduce it very much. You make massive investments. All this contributes to the current account balance being negative in period 1. The current account being negative in period 1 implies that your net international investment position goes down. And in fact, since it was 0, that means that it becomes negative. So now we see that this is smaller than 0, and that's greater than 0, and so the whole thing is negative. You have less output in period 1 than in the steady state, and you have more investment in period 1 than in the steady state, and bingo, the NIP is negative. So the current account balance in the first period is negative. The net international investment position in the first period is negative. At the beginning of the second period is negative. And the last thing, what do we know about the current account balance in the second period, and what do we know about the net international investment position in the third period? Okay, let's do that. Does anybody want to give it a try? So what is the current account balance in period 2, and what is B3? And my hint is you just start here. Mechanically, in fact. So just to bring you back into the game, I mean, what we've done is the following. We've computed the net international investment position at the beginning of the difference between B2 and B1. In fact, that's very simple because B1 is 0. So we have B2 is the net international investment position at the beginning of period 2. So, but it's also the current account balance in period 1. And what we've shown is that this is just it's just something that's negative because this is smaller than 0 and that's bigger than 0. You have less output in period 1 than in steady state, and you have higher investment. So you're subtracting something that's bigger from something that's smaller. And so we know that B2 is smaller than 0. Now the question is, what can we say about B3? And I just invite someone who's, courageous to come to the whiteboard and just follow these steps here, and you'll be surprised by what you will get. Not correct. I mean, Now, what do you think? So let's start by guessing. What do you think? What will be the current account in period 2? And what will be the net international investment position in period 3? Just intuitively. No. No. 0. So the current account balance, okay, I didn't know what you were talking about. Maybe I gave the wrong answer. But the current account balance in period 2 will be 0. Why is that? Well, because the whole action is over, right? The current account moves if there's some deviation from steady state. In period 2, we have reached the new steady state. And the consequence is that there's no reason. Now, if the current account balance is 0, what's the relationship between B3 and B2? They're the same. If there's someone, right? And that's, if you're fine with it, I'll just show it to you. Is that okay? Or would you, okay. So we just do that, right? We say B3 is y1 plus, by the way, I misled you here. I was too quick. This is wrong. It's not wrong. This equation is right. Please correct it. I don't want to mislead you right? This is the correct equation. B2 is y1 plus 1 plus rb1. minus I1 minus C1. And this current account in period 1 is B2 minus B1. And since this is equal to 0, it's B2. Right? Sorry about that. That was a slip of pen, so to speak. Right? So the net internet, this is, please remember, I mean, this is a model, but it's very strongly related to the stuff that we did when we talked about the balance of payments and the evolution of the NIIP, right? So this is not something that has nothing to do with our stuff on the BOP, right? It is, okay, so B3 equals Y2 plus 1 plus R B2 minus I2 minus C2. Now the crucial thing to note is that this is equal to Y, this is equal to I, and this is equal to C1, right?